there's a large South African community here in Atlanta, so I've had some friends who've been from there, talk to them about their years during apartheid as things were changing. My grandmother was actually born in Cape Town. I visited a few times.
Wow.
Do you have any stories about your experience growing up there, coming out of South Africa?
Yeah, it sounds, wow. Well, you know what, growing up in South Africa, it's a beautiful country, and it still is a beautiful country, and the people are really cool people. They're friendly, whether you're black, white, whatever, they're friendly people in Africa. Growing up in a society like that, it was wonderful, because it was kind of created, and the white people in South Africa created a society to basically protect themselves. They came in there, and it's not all bad. Of course, you know, the Dutch originally went in there, and they developed the country. Africa is Africa. It's a wild country. It's very poor. The amount of population compared to the amount of land there is just like amazing. There's just so much open space. So, and it's very, very wealthy in gold, diamonds. That's where everything comes from. So, you know, the Dutch people originally came in and they developed the land and they built gold mines and it became a very rich country. And what they did, I mean, in those days, and it was like in the 40s, I think, they realized, look, there's like 25, at that time, 20 million black people and 5 million white people. We have to protect our little life. So they developed apartheid, which is just weird. I mean, you know, most countries have been through that. America went through it, you know. So, but America came out of it successfully, and there'll always be racism all over the world. That's just the way it is. But like America, I can see people live together. It's beautiful. I love it, you know. And but growing up in a society like that, where we were very protected. I mean, I never had any black people as friends when I was a kid. We never really saw them. They put black people into what they call townships, like reservations, you know, the same kind of thing. And they came and they worked in the cities and worked, but they had what they called passbooks, which was like, I mean, obviously when I got to an age where I kind of realized what was going on, I was like, this is crazy. Police would stop them and they had to show a pass that they were allowed to be in that area, that they worked in that area. And if they weren't allowed to be in that area, they would be arrested. So it was a great life growing up. You know, they were all pretty well off, cheap labor, all that kind of thing. Why are you late? And then, but eventually I got to an age where I realized all of this is wrong, and I was in the South African Air Force for 2 years. We were at war with Angola at that time, right in the thick of it, in the midst. I went in 1980. We were at war with Angola because that's where the ANC was based, and the ANC were the terrorists. And all they were a group of people, Nelson Mandela, who wanted the right to vote and to live in their own country peacefully. But we were taught that they were terrorists. And I realized all of that when I was in the military, because I was 17 years old and you do what you're told, and it was kind of how I grew up. We always knew something was wrong, but we didn't really know anything else, so it was quite strange. And I mean, still to this day, I've got family living there, but I have a lot of resentment towards the country. I'm very proud to be from Africa, and I'll always be African. I'm a true African American, I say. I am, I really am. And yeah, so I realized, you know, that was going on, and I'm like, how could people brainwash youngsters like that? And so I left. But I mean, I had a lot of violence encounters in South Africa. I used to drive around with 2 guns on me, everywhere. I had a shotgun and I had a 38 special in my back pocket, everywhere I went, because you need it. And eventually, by the time I left in 2000, I was like, I never want to see another weapon in my life. I took my guns to a gun shop. The guy said, I'll give you like 20 rand, like $5. I said, dude, don't even give me anything. Just take my name off the license. I don't want to see it. You know, and I just gave him my guns. My wife at that time was driving around with a gun as well. I had one night I was on set, and I was filming my show there at 9 o'clock at night, and I got a call that sounded like my wife was in the bathroom, locked in the bathroom, and I could hear she was completely freaked out, and it sounded like people were in the house. And I just left the set straight away, got him off down. I got home like in 15 minutes. The guys had already gone, but yeah, 3 guys came into my house at 9 o'clock at night with guns, hit my dogs, tied my wife up with a wire coat hanger, and put a gun to her head and said, "We're going to kill you now and kill you now." And, thank God they never touched her, and they physically never did anything to her. And I went crazy. I went to the police. I knew all the police. We went to try and find the guys. We went raiding houses at 12 o'clock at night with guns. I was with a special unit there, and we never found them. We found 3 guys who had a lot of stolen stuff. We did a lineup. It wasn't them. And I even said to the police at that time, I said, "Guys, if this is the guys, I want 15 minutes alone with them in the cell." And they said, "Fine." And in a way, obviously, I'm glad it never happened, because I would have killed them. Just for, it's such a violation, and it happens to every single person there. And every single person in South Africa, if you have friends in South Africa and you ask them, either something has happened to them or someone very close to them, something has happened to them. That's just the way it is. Every single person there, it's only a matter of time until you have a violence encounter. That's just the way it is. And I don't blame the people there at all because of the poverty. There's like a 50 or 60% unemployment rate. Even with the new government in there, jobs have not been created. Low-cost housing hasn't been built for them. They actually, obviously, besides the apartheid thing, which is a good thing that it's gone, they're actually worse off now than they used to be. They have nothing. So just the other day, my wife's brother's house, the guys didn't even rob them. They came in and with kind of like wire coat hangers took clothes out of the cupboards through the windows. And that just shows you, they really weren't robbing. The guys needed clothes. They didn't try break in. They didn't take radios and televisions. He just wanted clothes. And it's just, it's crazy. I wish it wasn't like that. And I don't blame the people there for stealing and because they're desperate. Yeah. So if there's I don't know. It's just such a tough situation. It's kind of, I don't think it'll ever be fixed up. It's just the way it is. There's just no work there for people. And the whole of Africa is starving. And we see things like the Olympic Games, which is amazing, it's brilliant. If you go spend $400 billion, take 50 billion of that and feed every kid in the whole world for 10 years, So I kind of look at things like that. And they could do it. They could fix up Africa in a second. But they don't. They'd rather spend $400 billion on Olympic Games because it's going to make a lot of people a lot of money.